Vivianah, the nursing assistant. In May 2017, I made a trip to Street Loyas Medical Center in Makindye, where I was treated for a toothache. More than a week later, when the treatment I had been taking didn't seem to offer much relief, following a sleepless night, I returned to the facility to have the tooth removed. Under the guidance of an acquaintance, I met a nurse called Vivianah. Struggling to find the right door to walk into for a scan before I could have the tooth plucked out, Vivianah pointed me in the right direction. Everything went well, and I was sent on my way. Nearly 2 months later, I would return to the same hospital following a persistent fever. To this day, I still struggle to understand whether it was fate or luck that I met Vivianah again, working as a nursing assistant at the children's ward where, once again, my contact at the hospital had referred me for quick help. Unsure of what I was suffering from, I took a blood test that returned negative results for malaria and HIV. Recounting my lifestyle to the doctor, with Vivianah by her side like a loyal personal assistant, almost like a bodyguard that can't abandon their principal, the doctor suggested that perhaps I was a victim of fatigue. Insistent on the way I felt, knowing how I'm always conscious of my health, I suggested that we do a typhoid test. "You will have to pay 10,000 shillings for the test," the doctor warned. "Yes, it's okay," I responded. As I slid my right hand into my back pocket to retrieve my wallet, the nursing assistant, who, judging by her juvenile, pimple-less face passed for an intern or fresh graduate, dashed to go get a syringe to collect another blood sample for the taste. After waiting for about 15 to 20 minutes, Vivianah returned with the news of a mild positive test. I was subjected to an injection in the form of a drip. As she plastered the cannula on my hand, all I did was stare, figuring that she had her concentration on administering the medicine to notice my gaze. Her work was accompanied with some doctorly advice on the do's and don'ts to avoid such infections in the future. I listened keenly as she suggested that I opt for boiled water while brushing. She came off as kind and passionate about her chosen field. From the onset, I had, in the silence of my mouth, but in the whispers of my heart, appreciated Vivianah's beauty. Standing about 4'9" to 5'1" tall, she was a pale chocolate-brown skin girl in her early 20s with a small scar on her arm. She wore a pair of navy blue trousers, a matching short-sleeved shirt, and white Vans on her feet with a stethoscope wrapped around her neck. Her hips, although not too big, were noticeable. After the drip drained down my limbs, I was given what seemed like a heap of tablets and asked to rest on a bench under the shade of a nearby tree for about 30 minutes or more before finding my way home. Looking at her through an open window as I rested my injection off, I was smitten. Suddenly at heart, I felt like I had a lot to say. I wanted to tell her how dazzling she looked, how her mint smile had evoked a smile in me, and much. But I also knew that it could all be summed up in one simple but very meaningful sentence. "I like you." Digesting it all in, I figured a woman of her beauty and stature. She had someone feeding her all the praises I could ever think of in the moment, someone showering her with love. With all that in mind, I summoned my full strength and composure, with my brain resolved on what exactly to say to her. I walked back into the general waiting room, expecting the trembles of my heart to betray me, as they once did while on a commute to town in a taxi, and called her name out. "Muzawo Vivi, is there somewhere close by I can buy a fresh drink?" I asked, and yet, deep down, what I really wanted to say was that, if he doesn't marry you, whoever he is, your boyfriend, I will. "You are so beautiful." That was the plan, and then walk away. But I settled for directions to a kiosk that was flanked by a big pharmacy not too far away from the hospital. Without having to fall sick first or anything circumstantial, I'm hoping, against life's odds, that I meet Vivianah, who is passionate about maternal and child health again someday. Hi everyone, this is Robert K. Circles. Thank you so much for tuning into the podcast today. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you did, I'd be incredibly grateful if you could take a moment to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any future episodes. Give us a like on your favorite podcast platform. Leave a comment letting us know what you thought. We love hearing your feedback, and if you know someone who might enjoy the show, please share it with them. Your support means the world to me and helps us reach more listeners. Thanks again for being a part of the Robert K. Circles community. Until next time, take care.